Gap analysis, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's one of the techniques that we use to understand where a company, an organization wants to be. So what is gap analysis? Is the difference between the current state and the desired state. So we use something called as is to be. And I've heard people call it delta. So what is the difference? So I'm here now and I want to be here tomorrow. So one of the framework that you can use again is Puppet to be able to help an organization to get their desired state. Don't forget, it's about looking at where they are right now and where they plan to be, and then understanding the gap in between. And that will be the requirement for the future. So I'm going to move on to something called business case. I mentioned that before, that we need to support, as a business analyst, you might be able to support the creation of business case. So what are we looking at? It's just a justification of why we should progress with a proposed, objective. So it would have things like tangible and intangible benefit. It will have the cost element. It will have the impact assessment. You have the risk analysis that is done. And most importantly, the executive summary. What is it? What is the problem statement? What are we changing? Why do we want to change it? And all this will help the executive or the senior management to make a decision on way forward. This business case helps us to actually, like I said, is a working document, is a living document. So as we're going through the phase of business change life cycle, remember the alignment, definition, design, build, development, implementation, realization. The cycle will always align with the business case and the different financial side that we look at. So there's a financial analyst. Obviously, you might need your financial accountant to help you. So you need to know things like the payback period, the discounted factor, and different ways, internal rate of return. From this money that we spent, how do we realize the benefit? And then you look at the benefits. We have the tangible and intangible benefits. So tangible benefits are things that we can quantify, and intangible is like well-being of the organization. Maybe, employees being happier at their work, and which ultimately reduces the turnover rate of the employee. So very important that you and I at least understand how to read or create a business case. So one of the things you would be asked to do maybe to look at the impact assessment. Who are this change going to impact? And also do like a risk assessment. We have a document called RAID log. In the RAID log, the acronym is for risk, assumptions, issues, dependencies. So in there is where we capture any known risk. So in the RAID log, you will have the risk owner, you will have the action that needs to happen, you have the mitigation, and then date that it was resolved, and also the probability. A risk is something that we foresee that's going to happen in the future. So we have to at least have a plan B or even C so that when it does occur, we can mitigate that. So that will be in your risk log. And then you have your issue log. Issue is this thing has happened now. So we've got an issue. We need to sort it out. It's like when you have squabbles with maybe your friends or family, and you're like, I have an issue with you. So this is the same scenario. He needs to be dealt with there and then. Then you have assumptions. So during the business case creation, you might have made some assumptions. Maybe there's an existing infrastructure, or maybe there is something else that we can use tactically. You would capture that in your assumptions. And then you have your dependencies. So what are dependencies? It's like a give and get relationship. So if I'm expecting maybe project A to provide an input into my project, then I would be dependent on them. So how do you formulate options? When you're writing your business case, you need to have option: do something, do nothing, do little. So do something is, let's just keep it going. This is what we have. Maybe just a little bit of tweaking. Yeah. Do little is, let's keep it as it is. And then you have, do something, do nothing, do little. Those options would now be placed in front of your decision makers to choose which way they want to go. So that is business case. And also we've talked about gap analysis. Apply your puppet to be able to achieve those.